This is the Conscious Hour, and we're going to talk about drug running by the U.S. government. But first of all, we got to lead in with this story, and you saw it on the news. Maybe you didn't, but watch this, and I'll make some commentary. And then I was contacted by the Trump administration in 2020. I had a representative, actually from Trump's office, visit me in Honduras, and I'll get more into that in a little bit. But here we go.
Suspected drug boats in the Caribbean, despite growing questions over the legality of the strikes.
Stunning development, the U.S. Admiral who commands military forces in Latin America, Alvin Halsey, is stepping down early from his post as head of U.S. Southern Command, reportedly because he had concerns about the U.S. attacking boats in the Caribbean. Halsey is the first African-American commander of SOUTHCOM. Earlier this week, President Trump was questioned by a reporter about U.S. military operations in the Caribbean.
Mr. President, on Venezuelan boats, I want to ask you, why not have the Coast Guard stop them, which it is empowered by law to do? This way you can confirm who's on the boat and ensure that they're doing what you suspect.
Because we've been doing that for 30 years, and it has been totally ineffective. They have faster boats. Some of these boats are seriously, they're world-class speedboats, but they're not faster than missiles. But we've been trying to do that for years, and so much of the drugs, 25-30%, would come in through the seas.
What's the next step in this war?
So let's stop the bullshit right here. First of all, you have to go back in history. Go back to the Iran-Contra. And that's way before the younger generation was even born. Iran-Contra, Noriega. The U.S. has been running drugs out of Colombia, South America. Clear back in the 60s. Okay, 70s, 80s. And so we've been running drugs north. The Iran-Contra scandal was about us. Gary Webb was the guy that basically broke the story a long time ago. And we're running drugs in the United States. We've been running drugs in the United States forever. In fact, the numbers range between 1.4 and 1.9 billion dollars a year. Yeah, they come by boats, they come by plane, they do all sorts of things. And they had a lot of people that they worked with. Chapo Guzman, they worked with him. They worked with Noriega, they worked with everybody because they're funding their off-book operations. So let's go back into history. Let's go back to Vietnam. We were in Vietnam in 1952. Why? Well, we weren't worried about the Chinese were invading Vietnam. That wasn't the storyline. We were there as covert operations. Why? Because of what they call the Golden Triangle. So if you think military, you think of geopolitical or geographical locations. We call that the Golden Triangle. And then we have the Northern Triangle. What's the similarity between the two? The Northern Triangle was about running drugs from South America into the United States. And we do it many different ways. And we also export it into Europe. Okay, but then let's talk about Vietnam, the Golden Triangle. We were there for the heroin, just like the French were. This has been going on forever because we have off-book operations of the military that doesn't have to go through Congress, and they can do whatever they want. So Trump came in, and he knows damn well what the U.S. is doing down there, because when his advisor came down and met with me, because I met with a Marine 2 meetings in a row, and he said, "Where's a guy from the president's office going to come and see you?" I said, "Fine, come talk to me." And what I told him was this: why are we playing this fucking game? Let's do one thing. Let's legalize drugs, put it into the pharmacies. If somebody wants to go and buy cocaine, go to the pharmacy, and the pharmacy gets a percentage, the government gets a percentage, and we get rid of this war on drugs bullshit. So what really is going on in Venezuela? It's real simple. We want their fucking oil, the largest oil reserve in South America. That's it, bottom line. So we're covering these stories. It's great we're covering these stories, but we aren't breaking through to figure out what the solution is. The solution is legalize the drugs, regulate them. And when people want to get high, go get high. Just look at how many people in office know this story is true. The Intelligence Committee, the Foreign Relations Committee, everybody knows it. They keep playing this game. And then the final one was this. During the Trump administration, there was a request for extradition orders. Who needed to be extradited out of these foreign countries because they're terrorists or whatever? Put together an extradition list, okay? So one list I had was 35 people in Honduras. That was a list that was given to me. I thought, oh, cool. I knew quite a few of the names. Big deal. Are they going to extradite these people? No. Why? Because it's off book operations. But the problem is this, that we make the cartels the bad people when the cartels are the ones that are working with the US government. Everybody's making money on it. So my answer to the solution is real simple. You legalize the drugs, you put them into the pharmacies so everybody's making a cut and we get rid of this thing. But Trump won't do that because why? He is not a bulldozer, a wrecking ball. This is how he likes to do things. Just come in and hit it, knock it down, and see how we rebuild off it. Mr. Trump, wake the fuck up. You know damn well, because you've done a lot of cocaine in your life and probably a lot of other drugs, you know damn well who's running them. And let's talk about Israel. Let's talk about the drug cartels that run everything around the world. Who are they? Everybody knows who they are. The intelligence committee knows who they are. But the problem is we're caught in this cycle where everybody's guilty, literally, if you wanted to prosecute them for violating laws, but they won't. They're going to prosecute any of these people. This is more stage, and they want to go in and attack Venezuela because they want their oil. They got a problem. They got a big problem. China's there. China said, no, we're going to stand by it. We'll put our ships out there. You want to go into this foreign country? Fine, we'll take you out. So what Trump is doing is he's pushing everything on every angle around the world, everywhere. He's pushing everything because he is an egomaniac, a self-centered. Just go back to The Apprentice. Go back to The Apprentice. I don't watch television like that kind of shit, but I happened to tune in when The Apprentice first started. And I was down in wintertime down in Palm Springs. And I was sitting in my motorhome and I watched this thing. Watched, about 2 or 3 shows of it. And I thought to myself, Donald Trump, God, the guy that built the Taj Mahal and ripped off all his contractors, had a phony university, ripped off people there, a whole history of Donald Trump. You could go back in history and find out who he is. And he's now our president. But are people really interested in that information? No. They go in and they vote because they're Republican. They go and vote because they're a Democrat. And both of them, Trump, Biden, Clinton was one of the worst drug runners. They're all in the drug business. It's called off-book operations so they can make massive profits. And what's killing the world is the military-industrial complex because of its greed the machine. It believes it can go in, rule other countries, blow the shit out of them because we're the mightiest. And now the clock is ticking because Netanyahu has taken us to the breaking point. So the question is Netanyahu going to go full-fledged war? You bet he is, because he has to finish his mission. Is he concerned about drugs? Hell no. Just keep the drugs flowing because off-book operations. Anyways, this is the Conscious Hour. And when I watch the news and I know this shit, sometimes I just have to open my mouth and tell you the truth. Because I'm tired of us repeating the same fucking mistakes over and over again. And now we're at the threshold where we could blow the world up. Going back to Israel. One little factoid. August 26th, Netanyahu gave directions on BBC to the Palestinians. It was an announcement. BBC covered the story, and it said, Palestinians, 2.1 million of them, you got to leave. Didn't tell them where they're going to go. So they aren't leaving. They're escalating. They're killing the Palestinians now. They're going to bomb them. They're going to eliminate them, and it will go into a full-fledged war. So Trump wants a war in Venezuela. Trump wants a war in Israel. It's going to be a huge war when that one goes off. How are we going to defend this, Mr. Trump? Oh, he doesn't give a shit. No, he's the wrecking ball. And his ideas cripple, collapse the democracy, our republic, collapse it. We're going to be run by oligarchs who want to go wage wars, steal resources, and make massive profits that they'll never, ever be able to spend in their whole fucking lifetime. Just look at how wealthy these people are. They can never get rid of the money they have, but their insatiable urge to do one thing: get more money, I need more money. And the money isn't even based on gold. 1971, it went away. So we got this the illusional game of, oh, I got some money, look at my dollar. Your dollar's worth shit, folks. And there's a whole solution for this. The Conscious Hour has the solutions. I kept my mouth shut, ever going public, and now I'm going public because I've studied this. Ever since I was a little kid, I got involved with the governments. The government contacted me. They wanted me involved. I never got paid by the government, meaning I was never working for the government. I always was an independent person, and they would pay for my expenses. I never received funding from them other than reimbursements for my travel, and that was it. This is the conscious hour, folks. It's our conscious hour to turn our collective consciousness into a revolution of let's unfuck the world. Thanks for tuning in.